If you're tired of setting up manual HTTP request, then this is the video for you because today I'm going to show you guys how to connect the community nodes, whether you are hosted on n8n cloud, self-hosted in the cloud or locally hosted. And a community node is just a node that a member of the community that has built because it solves a specific problem or adds more functionality that n8n doesn't natively have. So let's get into it. So here is an article that n8n released last week that says community nodes are now available on n8n cloud, which is great because previously you had to be self-hosting the community version of n8n if you wanted to use these nodes. And as you can see down here, they are starting with just 25 nodes. There are some of the most used community build packages and partner supported integrations, and they're going to be expanding the library, gradually bringing on more verified nodes so that we can connect to pretty much anything a lot easier. Now they talk a little bit more about why they are investing in this ecosystem. Community nodes have been extremely successful over the past couple of months, and then it's going to be a spotlight for a few community nodes that will be available on cloud like Tavily, Browserflow. We have got ElevenLabs, Serpa API, and many more. So let's get into n8n Cloud and check it out. One thing to note at the top of the article is that it says you must be on the version 1.94 or later. So if I go into my n8n and I click on admin panel in the bottom left down here, we can see that I'm currently running 1.94, so I'm good. But what we have to do is click on settings and we have to go down here to verify community nodes that done that on, and then we have to hit save changes. So this is going to basically restart our workspace. So make sure you have your workflow saved and everything. And if I go back to my dashboard, it's going to say that it's basically spinning it back up. It's making the changes right now. And then when it's green, we will be able to click open and then we will launch back into our n8n environment. All right, so we are green. I'm going to go ahead and open up my workspace, and now that I'm back in my n8n environment, what we can do is go down here to settings and we will see we have a new option down here that says community nodes, which would not have been there before. And it says you can install community node and partner build node packages that have been verified by n8n directly from the panel. So rather than having to come here to install it like you would if you were self-hosting the community edition, you can just do it straight from the panel. So let's hop into a workflow and take a look. All right, so here we are in a workflow, and what I have done is I have connected to Tavily using HTTP request. And if you guys have been watching my channel for a while, you have probably seen me connect to Tavily a ton. It basically lets your agent search the web with real-time articles, that kind of stuff. And what we had to do inside this HTTP request, we had to do the API documentation, and then we had to set up all this stuff with all these different parameters. As you can see, as we pull in all this information, we have our parameters, and what we asked was what is AI automation, and then here we get our actual answer, and then over here we get the results with an actual URL. But what we are able to do is now with the community nodes is if I move in this nasty HTTP request out of the way and I click on the plus, if I search for Tavily, we can see right here we have a Tavily community node, and if I hover over the check mark, it says this is an official node maintained by Tavily. So I will click on that, and what we have to do is install it. So I'm just going to click install node. This is going to take like 10 seconds. It doesn't take long at all. Now you can see that we have it installed. If I go to the actual community nodes of our cloud, you can see that this is the one that we have. This is where you could go ahead and take a look at documentation or uninstall this package. But now that we have it installed, what we can do is we can use that search endpoint, which is exactly the one I just used in the previous HTTP request right up there. And so now it's pretty cool. We have a native node that has a little Tavily logo and everything. And all I have to do is in here I have to put in a credential and search query. And then we have the option to add all these other things that we had in the actual request right here. But we don't have to deal with the actual body parameter. Let's say we wanted to do a different topic. We have the option of general news or finance, or let's say we want to do a max result. We can just put it in a number and it's way more easy to look at. So first thing I do is I would want to create a so I would want to create a credential. So I would click on create a credential, and all I have to do is plug in my API key. So I will go to Tavily and I will just copy this key right there. Hit save and we will be good to go there. And then I just need to type in a search term. So I'm going to type in what is AI automation, just so we can see the same results as what we did earlier. And now we are running it. It's a community node. As you can see we get back this result. We don't have an answer probably because we did different results, but we have 5 different URLs, and that and they are all going to tell us about what AI automation is. And what really nice about these community nodes is a lot of times I see people have issue with the authentication, because Towly specifically in your authentication you have to put in bearer space API key. But as you guys saw in the native node, when you create your credential, all you have to do is give your API key. So whoever built this community node is handling all that of kind of stuff on the back end. And another thing I want to mention is, because it's is a community node doesn't mean you can't have triggers or agent tools as well. So for example, if I click on the plus under our tool AI agent, what we can see that if I want to do the Tavily again, but this time use it as a tool, we see right here we have our community tool, which is a part of the Tavily package, which of course was this one that we just used down here. This is the official Tavily one. And then this is the tool that this is the part of that package. So of course I could click under there and I could add it to the workflow. And now we have a Tavily tool that we can hook up to our AI agent. And we already have our credentials saved because we just set it up with this package. And then when it comes to the trigger, you basically would just have to play around to see if the community node that you're trying to use has a trigger or not. So if I come into this workflow and just type in trigger, that we can see we have a ton of different triggers. Like looks like this one right here, SwiftGum, is one of the official ones that is a community node. Also noticed earlier that we had one called chat data, which lets you take action in chat community node. Alright, so that is going to do it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed and hope you get in there and play around some with some community nodes, see the value in that. And if you guys want to see a video on some automations using different community nodes or some of the most useful ones, let me know. I would love to throw that together for you. Anyways, as always, I appreciate you guys making it to the end of the video, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks everyone.